Welcome, this is Mr. Anderson, and this is our Chapter 8 Rational Expression Review. And in our final video, I have a bonus problem free of charge for you today. We need to solve for x, and my strategy is going to be to combine these two fractions here. All right, then maybe I'll cross multiply. Hopefully something is going to cancel out at that point. And then hopefully I'm just left with a quadratic, and it'd be nice and easy to solve that quadratic. Let's see how this works out here. Okay, so I need a common denominator to subtract these two fractions. All right, so I need a common denominator for these two denominators here. Let's see what we have here as factors. So I really just want to do a little factor tree here. Because in our common denominator, remember, we want all the factors represented in this denominator, and we want all the factors represented in this denominator to be the least common denominator. So let's factor this. This is pretty easy to factor. No coefficient in front of that x squared. The second terms have to multiply up to be a positive 10 and add up to be a negative 7. So that would be a negative 5 and a negative 2. Negative 5 and negative 2 multiply up to be a positive 10 and add up to be a negative 7. All right, so I'm going to replace this with that. Okay, and then it looks like our common denominator then is going to be this x minus 5, x minus 2. So I just need to multiply this fraction, and I'll squeeze it in here, by x minus 2 over x minus 2. That will give me the common denominator over here that I need to match this one right here, and then I'll be free to subtract the numerators. All right, so I've got common denominators. I'll go ahead and I'll distribute this. That is x squared. X times negative 2x would be, or negative 2 would be negative 2x. And then subtract this numerator. And then the common denominator is x minus 5 times x minus 2. All right, over on this side, I've got x minus 1 on top. And on the bottom, let's factor this out. I've got 2 that I can factor out of here. All right, so let's divide the 2 out of that binomial there. All right, so I've got 2 times x minus 5. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. All right, and I see I've got an x minus 5 and x minus 5 over here. So really what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to cross multiply yet. I want to get rid of this x minus 5. I'm going to move this x minus 5 over here. So it's going to be in the numerator when I move it over. And then that will cancel out x minus 5 over x minus 5. So I'm going to multiply each side by x minus 5. And that will cancel out those x minus 5s. All right, so I've got x minus 5 over here, multiply x minus 5. Multiply both sides by x minus 5. That cancels out x minus 5 over there, and then that will cancel out that x minus 5. So this looks a lot better, because then now I'm ready to cross multiply. I'll cross multiply these, I'll fold these together, and then set it equal to cross multiplying this right here. So I'm just going to end up with a quadratic multiplying these two binomials, and I'll end up with a quadratic multiplying these two binomials. Move everything to one side, combining like terms. I'll have one quadratic, and we'll see if we can factor that quadratic. All right, so let's cross multiply. We've got 2 times x squared minus 2x minus 2, and that's equal to, we're going to FOIL these out, x minus 2 times x minus 1. All right, cross multiplied. All right, so I want to distribute this 2 with all the terms inside. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times negative 2x is negative 4x. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. All right, and this equals, we've got to FOIL this out. First is x squared. Outside is negative 1x. Inside is negative 2x. So negative 1x plus negative 2x gives me minus 3x. And then the last would be negative 2 times negative 1 would be a positive 2. Okay, now the idea is let's move everything to the other side and just leave 0 on this side and solve the quadratic. All right, so I'm going to subtract off the x squared from each side. Subtract off x squared from each side. I want to add 3x to each side to cancel that out. Add 3x here. And I want to subtract 2 from both sides to cancel that out. So this cancels out here. X minus x squared is 0. Negative 3x plus 3x, that's 0. Plus 2 minus 2, that's 0. So this side of the equation, all we have is 0. This side of the equation, we're left with a quadratic. 2x squared minus 1x squared gives us just x squared. That's nice. Negative 4x plus 3x gives me minus 1x. And negative 4 minus another 2 gives me negative 6. All right, so let's factor this quadratic. And no number in front of the x squared. That's nice. All right, so we need a negative 6, and it has to multiply up to be negative 6, these terms, and then add up to be a negative 1. That would be, it's got to be more negative than positive, so negative 3, positive 2. Negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 plus 2 would be negative 1. All right, so that's factored out. Now I just need to figure out, okay, what makes this 0 and what makes this 0. All right, so if x equaled 3, then that would make this 0. It would be 0 times whatever this is, and that would equal 0. If x equaled negative 2, that would make this binomial 0. Negative 2 plus 2 would be 0. I'd multiply by whatever this is. 0 times anything is 0, and that would make this equation true. All right, so I have to check for extraneous answers, though. So there's my possible solutions right here. There's my possible solutions. All right, let's see if one works out, both work out, what happens here. All right, so we've got to plug this back into the original equation here. So first with the 3. Everywhere I see an x, I need to plug in a 3. So 3 over 3 minus 5. And very easy to make a careless error here, so you want to be nice and careful. Over 2 times, or 2 over 3 squared minus 7 times 3 plus 10. All right, and I'm checking, does this equal 3 minus 1 over 2 times 3 minus 10? Okay, so I've got, let's clean this up a little bit. 3 over 3 minus 5. 3 over 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Minus 2 over, let's see, that's 9 minus 21 plus 10. Does this equal 3 minus 1 is negative 2 over 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 10 would be negative 4. Okay, so we got 3 over negative 2 minus, this is 2 over 9 minus 21 plus 10. That's 9 and 10. That's 19 minus 21 makes negative 2. Okay, well, I've got the same common denominator already, so that's going to be easy there. And does this equal negative 2 divided by negative 4 is a positive 1/2. 3 minus 2 is 1. And negative 2 and negative 2 is our common denominator. So that's negative 2. So does negative 2 equal a positive 1/2? All right, well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So it looks like this is no good. Of course, whenever I get where it doesn't work out, both sides of the equation doesn't work out, then I go back and I check my math. Make sure, because either you made a careless error, which is easy to do, or that solution's no good here. So let's just double check real quick. I got 3 over negative 2. That looks good. Minus 2 over 9 minus 21 plus 10. That's 9 and 10. That's 19 minus 21. That's negative 2. 3 minus 2 is 1 over negative 2. That looks good. Over on this side, I've got 3 minus 1. Plug that in right. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 10. 3 minus 1 is negative 2. 6 minus 10 is negative 4. So that would be, those cancel, we got 1/2. All right, so that looks like that one is no good. All right, so let's take a look at x equals negative 2 now. All right, so I want to check this one. So I've got negative 2 over negative 2 minus 5 minus 2 over negative 2, make sure and put that in parentheses, negative 2 squared minus 7 times negative 2 plus 10. And does that equal negative 2 minus 1 over 2 times negative 2 plus, or that's minus 10. Okay, so I got negative 2 over negative 7 minus negative 2 over negative 2 squared is 4 minus 7 times negative 2 is negative 14, and I'm subtracting, so I'm going to be adding 14 and then adding 10. And does this equal, negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3, and 2 times a negative 2 is negative 4 minus another 10, so negative 14. Okay, I got negative 2 over negative 7 minus a negative 2 over, add all these together, we got 14 plus 14 is 28. All right, I could cancel out those negatives over here. Right there, I could cancel those out, and then I'd have a common denominator of 28 there. So I'll just multiply each side by 4. And I could cancel these out here too. So this would be 3 over 14. All right, so I want to multiply top and bottom by 4. And I've got 8 over 28 minus a negative 2. So that would be, that's plus, minus negative is plus 2 over 28. And does that equal 3 over 14? 8 plus 2, that is 10 28ths. All right. 10 28ths. All right, that makes 5 14ths, not 3 14ths. So this is showing not equal to. But like I said, every time I get one that doesn't work out, we're working so many numbers here, it's easy to get a careless error. All right, so let's take a look through carefully. -2 minus 2 minus 7. All right, so I got -2, and on the bottom we got -7. That looks good. All right, minus 2. Where'd that minus -2 come from? All right, so I just inadvertently put in another -2 right here. I was writing -2 with the x's, and I just added another -2 right here. So that makes a +2 there, +2 here. Let's correct that. All right, and you need to persevere through the problem. All right, so let's change this down here. Okay, and so this is going to make, I still have this common factor, or common denominator of 28. So that is 8 minus 2 then makes 6 28ths, which in fact does equal 3 14ths. All right, let's double check this side, make sure this works out. -2 minus 1 is -3. 2 times a -2 makes -4 minus another 10, that's -14. I canceled out the negatives, that's good. 3 over 14. 3 over 14. All right, so this one does check out. So x equals -2 checks out. X equals 3 does not check out. So there is our solution right there. All right, hope this video was helpful.